Hello. So today we'll be adding a turtle enemy. One thing before we start I wanted to add was change how the enemies collide with each other. Now we'll do this by going into the ground and selecting enemy as well, so that this shouldn't really be called a ground mask, should it? Yeah, so now when we collide, we'll collide with enemies and the ground. So if we have two enemies, they should hopefully swap positions. One other thing that let's give it such a quick try. Where we are. Let's select this guy here and give him a brother. And just quickly press play. I don't know if I need to change this in the physics as well. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. Are they too close to each other? I feel like we will just not do this if it doesn't work properly, because I don't feel like changing the code. Why are you struggling to go? Oh, because he's self-colliding. That's the problem. They are indeed doing a self-collision. Okay, let's forget about it then. For now, that would be too much effort to change. So he doesn't self-collide. Maybe in the future then. So, anyways, moving on. We want that I guess a two-step process enemy. Wait, let's move this guy out of the way. So I'm going to start off by creating our new enemy off of this guy. Where are we? Right here. Let's create a copy. Just drag it out. And we're going to call it the turtle enemy. Now, for the turtle enemy, we need two different states. So let's first delete everything that's inside. Let's undo the prefab. Unpack. I'm just going to remove all of that. And we will create, what do we have here? How should we go about doing it? Let's keep the colliders for now. So let's create two empty game objects. So first is going to be our state, the default state, and then the second one is going to be the shell state, like so. Is everything okay with the string? Yeah. Okay, let's create some quick visuals for this guy. I'm not gonna spend too much time for this. So you just have a little color like this, and then we're just gonna add, so that's gonna be the body. And then for the shell, we'll just use a circle. There we go, and we have ourselves a shell enemy. Now we would want the shell to be in front of the square, so let's just do some resizing. There we go. Looks no. Go on. Just gonna make it really thin, like this. There we go. Better. It looks more like a snail actually, but that's good enough. I'm fine with it being a snail. Let's use the dark green for the cube. And for the shell state, we are going to create another sphere. But we are going to compress it down like this. And that's just going to be what's going to keep moving. Now let's make sure none of these have colliders, because we don't want to use any collision from these guys. Okay, so let's remove the default state, attach the green here. Now let's make sure the way they move is correct. So first thing, wait, and let's actually make sure that they're more or less the same in proportion, so I don't have to bother about changing the colliders. So you could actually use the exact same collider for both. Let's actually squish this guy down a little bit, move him to the floor. There we go. Maybe do the shell a little bit smaller from the top and just increase that one. There we go. I just want to keep, for the simplicity of things, I don't want to play around with changing colliders while we're in the middle of a game. Okay, so with this done, we're going to do the offset collider. So I probably should change it from green to some other color because it's really hard to see right now. Let's open up some code. Right. So this is just going to change it to red. And now when it eventually updates, there you go, we have red lines instead. They're way better. Okay, now let's go into our script and just separate it apart a little bit. I think 5 will do the trick. Now let's work on all of our colliders. I'm going to do first disable the collision. So what's this collision? This is the collision that we collide the player with. So this is what will proc the player to lose. We'll have to change this to a different collider. What's this one? This is what player can stomp on, right? Or is that the one the player can stomp on? This is the one player can stomp on. So we will use this for our generic player collision. Where are we? So this is what will happen if the player presses on us. Right here. Now let's enable the second collider. Move it down. So this is what will happen if we step on our enemy. Make it slightly smaller. I also realized that the shell is, it's actually fine. There you go. So if we collide with this one, it'll just trigger the enemy to switch states. And we need one more collider, which is going to be a capsule to the capsule collider. And that one's just gonna be what we're gonna use to move with. I actually feel like he's slightly in the ground right now. Yeah, we need to move these guys up a little bit. Right, let's compare it to, yeah. Better. Where's the last collider? Make it as small as possible. There we go. And that's what we're going to use for moving. And now we have one of our colliders set up. At this point, the enemy does will work the same way the other one does. So let's just put it to play and see how that's going to... we didn't set the activator. So what I'll do for now, I'll disable this state because this state will never be visible. And for the activator script, we just need any of these mesh renderers, so the script can be enabled. And as we see, we have some problems with how he moves. That's okay. We'll fix this in a minute. Why is it so bad? No, this has to stay at 0. And that doesn't matter. The colliders look so weird. Come on, man. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is this is serializable. I should be able to change it. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. We're just gonna increase that. Yep, he's moving the right way. He's not flipping though. Do we not have a flip added? We do, but I guess it's just not working properly. Okay, let's not worry about that. So we have the second enemy. What will actually have to happen is we actually still don't have the automatic jump after we. So what happens is right now we just kill it. Also, it's so small. We actually might want to just increase everything in size. But that means changing the colliders. Nope, I'm just going to leave it as that. It's going to be a really small enemy. Where are we? So what we want to do is, there is a script. Where are we? Enemy collision. And what does enemy collision do? It does smash enemy, right? So what we want to do is for our turtle enemy, we want to have a different version of this. So if we go into enemies, we'll create a new script and we'll call the turtle collision, like so. And instead of having enemy collision here, we will have turtle collision instead. And what our turtle collision will do is it will inherit from our enemy collision. So what we'll do here is we'll just put enemy collision to remove all of these fields. And right now it works the exact same way as the other script, so there is no difference whatsoever. Let's see if it's just going to proc it as intended. Yeah, so there you go. Even though it has a completely different script attached now, it's inheriting from the other one, so everything's fine. And we can adjust points for the enemy, for example, set it to 25. So what we do want to do is we want to change this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to call a virtual, and here we will do public override, and we want to override the smash enemy. We still want to do the base, so no, we don't want to do the base anymore because we don't want to disable it. We want to write our own one, and we'll also want to add the points at the end. So what we do want to do is we want to be able to get them, right? Because now by default there is no way to get the points. I'm actually just gonna move it here like this, right? So what's gonna happen is our turtle has to have two states, right? So let's create a serializable private game object, and let's call it states, and make that an array. And we will have a private int current state, like so. I'm just going to set it to 0. And then, so when on start, when we first load in our enemy, we will do for, actually, let's make this a function. So we'll do private void reset states. And what we'll do here is we'll put in this function here. We'll loop through all of our states. So that's dot length. And we will just do states I dot set active false, because we want to disable every set. So we'll put our reset states at the beginning here. And we will also want to do the reset states when we collide with the enemy, like so. And of course, at the start, we want to set our current state to 0, and we want to set the correct state. So we'll do states current state, and then dot set active true, like so. And when we smash the enemy, well, what we want to do is every time we want to add a state. So we'll do states plus plus, right? We want to do it once. And then we want to kind of have some kind of a break point, our current state plus plus, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to check if current state is higher than 1, then current, well, actually, no. So if current state is equal to 1, no. We want to do the check before we add. So first we check what our current state is. So if our current state is 0, then well, that's fine. That means we can change to our shell mode, and then else if current state is higher than 1 or equal to, then we kind of just want to set it to 1 just so we don't get any errors. Like so. And then we, of course, at the beginning we want to reset the states because that means we're already changing something to our enemy. No, we only want to reset the state in this section here. Now in here we can actually call the base if it's 1. So we will just do base dot smash enemy. Right, so if we're already in our second state, we can just remove this out of existence. If we're in our first state, though, we want to reset states, we want to add 1 to our state, and we want to set our state to the current active one. Actually, rather than adding, we're just going to set it straight away to 1. There's not going to be any need. We'll not keep adding, we'll set it to 1 just flat out. And that will avoid any errors at all. And that's it. At this point, we are in second state, but actually, our second state has to have some kind of a change to the game, besides from visual, because currently we only will enable the state 1. So what we'll also do is we'll get a reference to our movement script at the top. So we'll do private enemy controller. So this controls enemy movement like so. In states, we will add what do we have here? The different stages of the enemy, and that's going to be the current stage of the enemy. Sets the default enemy settings, and here we will of course get a controller is equal to this dot get object dot get component, and we'll do enemy controller. And what we'll do in our first state, we're just going to change the speed value. So our speed value is 1 by default. I think that's what it's set to all the Gombas anyway, right? Show me the map. If it's, yeah, so we can remove this. We know 1 is actually a tested value that works, and we're just going to want to set it to something else. So on start, we're just going to do controller dot speed, save it, dot speed, is it? Hey, controller. Oh, that's right. Enemy controller. That's why it didn't work. Silly me. So in start, we default it to 1, and here, after we smash our enemy, we're gonna change it to 2. So we're just gonna double the speed, which of how fast we go. We definitely use speed in the code, right? Yeah, we do. So that should just make it go twice as fast, which is what we want. Maybe some other value if we test it, but for now it's good enough. What we'll do here, reset state. So resets all the states by disabling the object, and then overrides the default smash enemy to trigger between disabling and different state. There we go, like so. And with this, we have our turtle enemy done. And then let's just go into. Wait, did we do everything here as we wanted to? Yes. We do need to do the flipping, but that's something I'll just do off screen because I'll need to figure out why it's not rotating the object around. What do we have here? I don't want to waste too much time on debugging errors. I already get confused in my own thoughts for too long. Oh yeah, I wanted to add this prefab enemies and prefabs. So now we have all of our enemies done. Maybe we will have the boss for the boss level. How much time do we have left? 20 minutes went by, it's 40 past. Quickly think What else could we add? So we can complete the level. I could start coding the no, I just wanted to add this enemy. I added this enemy. I believe this level is now done. I'm just going to add a little bit more coins here and there, and we can start working on next level. So we can have more levels in the game. Let's see if that's okay to be collected. Also, I didn't attach the states. Right. So we'll have our default state as the first one, shell state as the second state. Just do that. Also, that was a problem here. Here. Just gonna set that as no, so we don't get the yellow warning. I hate getting the yellow warnings for anything. I'm trying to like speedrun this. Suddenly we're not jumping anymore. That's so strange. This is so weird. Sometimes when I test it, the jump force on, I guess that's okay. Where else could we add coins? In the middle? Yeah. Okay, so these three are okay. And you can actually collect all of them at once. I kind of want to make it in the middle. So I'm just going to make some here. Oh, actually, can the enemy interact with the coins? They should. Yes, they will actually. So we need to do is we need to select just one coin because it's a prefab, and add it to. What's the mask that ignores? Do we not have a mask for the power-ups? What's the mushroom set to? Oh, they're just on an enemy layer. That's why the enemies shouldn't really collide with each other. Yeah, let's just change the coins to an enemy layer as well. Then they 100% will not interact with one another. Yep, it's all good. So we can add one here. I guess we can add some here while we jump over. So let's add one here, and then let's put one above, and let's put one here, and then let's put one here. So you kind of have to make like this perfect little jump, like so. And then that's it. I guess we can have this many coins. So this is our first level done. I actually don't want the turtle enemy in here, but I'll keep it for some testing of camera. And tomorrow we'll be adding the underground level as well as next level. So we'll be probably working on special effects. So I don't want to change how this looks. I'll just change the I don't remember what you call it anymore. But basically, I'll be changing contrast, saturation, and whatnot of the level to make it look like it's different textures. But in reality, I'm just going to reuse the exact same assets. Yeah, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing the level stuff, like I said. Thanks for watching.